shoot. Let's see. Testing, testing. Got no mic? No mic? Testing, testing. Now we have a mic. Is that recording? Yes, we are. All right, sounds good. Okay, so welcome. Streaming live again. Was a little hasty there. I need to edit the description of this particular live stream because it's not correct. A corner nanowall system, and if you've ever tried this before, it's quite difficult with the tools built into Chief. Let's just build 4 corners of a house. That's going to auto build some stuff for us so that we can take a look in 3D. Here we go. In case you didn't know, I will plug a little company called Nanowall. Excuse me, not Nanowall. 3D connection mouse is what I wanted to talk about. People have been asking me, how do I float around these scenes so easily? If you don't have a 3D connection mouse, you just don't know how good this stuff can be. Shoot me a little question about them if you've got any questions about the benefit of using this in Chief, because it's not just in 3D where we get benefits in other places as well. So kind of a known workaround in Chief for creating zero corner posts, right? Where we're cutting away a wall here. Let's just do this. I'm going to drag this pass-through window, and I'm also going to draw a little inference CAD line. That way I can copy, paste, reflect about center. If I copy the right thing, there we go. Just like that. Now, as soon as, let me just show you this. As soon as I get this window close enough, graphical, what seems like an anomaly, believe it or not. If I bring it just kind of to the corner, or this one's just kind of to the corner, maybe I bump it to the corner. I have bumps turned off right now, by the way. Let me hit my F11 key, you'll see. There, I bump to the corner, and then bump to a corner again. And look what happens. We get this little graphic that comes up, and it shows us what it did. It automatically kind of molded these windows, right? If we open these and come down to our frame section, you can see here this option shows up, has corner post. Watch what happens when I drag this window back out. Now I open this up, and in frame, that's grayed out, right? But I bring it close to that corner again, and then suddenly, has corner post. I can uncheck it, and look what that does. Makes that disappear. So from here, we could try to insert a door in that same opening. We could expand this up and down, right? And we need to make that exact same pass-through window on the other side. So I'm going to duplicate this, reflect about, for that opening to remain, right? And then we could place a door in here. It's a little bit challenging. I'm going to hold my control key to override snaps, but then I can be placing a door inside of that section. And the next step would just be to make sure that I have no casing, no jam, etc. Okay? So this works to some extent, but it ends up being kind of problematic, right? When you butt it to the corner, it does something funny to that pass-through window. It's not a bulletproof solution, so it doesn't always work the way you might want it to. So what's another solution? Well, we can create a frame as a fixture to cut into our wall. And that's what I want to do. So I'm going to go over to this opposing wall right here and just draw out a couple P-solids. Okay, I'm going to snap it to the wall itself. I'm going to make it just a one-side piece so that we need to, when we're utilizing this as a tool, we're going to have to copy it and reflect about the corner. So I'm not really worried about what the dimension is here. Maybe standard dimensions, I don't know, 30-inch door panels times 4 might get me something interesting. Something like that. Well, and then it would be plus the half the distance of the thickness of this wall, so so I don't know, 2.5 in, something like that. We're going to be able to stretch the symbol when we're finished making it. So here's my first P solid. I want to make sure that the floor to bottom, or actually the thickness, is, I think I want this the thickness to be the thickness of my flooring. because when we use a symbol to cut away from a wall, it does not cut your flooring. So I could either make this symbol the thickness of the flooring, or I could rely on a material region to cut the floor. For now, let's just make this symbol just above 7/8. I'm going to add 1/32. Okay? Finish floor to bottom, 0 inches. Okay, so that's my first piece. And let's take a look at what this looks like in 3D. I'm going to pull this wall away so we don't see this anymore. Pull our camera around. And that's what I created right there. Simple enough. Okay? Next, let's duplicate this in place. Let's move my edit bar here, but I'm going to use my mouse to do this. Duplicate, paste hold position. There we go. I have a second copy now. Should, anyways. Maybe not. Paste hold position. Open this up, and this one is going to remain that same thickness. That's fine. Or maybe not. Let's make it 3/4 of an inch. We'll make that top piece 3/4 of an inch. And finished floor to top is going to be 80 inches. It's actually, maybe I want to make it a higher than that. I'm not too worried about it. We're going to be able to stretch this. So make that 80 inches. Okay, so now we've got 2 piece solids. Next up, I want to add a little frame over here and make this 3/4 of an inch. And this is going to be an overall 80 inches. 0 to floor. Okay. Let's take a look at what we've got so far. That's what we've got. The beginning of a frame for a corner. Now I think I might want to spruce this up a little bit, make it look a little bit nicer. I might even add a track, some tracks in here. Make this really pop, right? So, you can do another piece solid. Drag this out. If I wanted to, I could tab this, but I'm not going to. We're just going to edit after the fact. We're going to place it and edit. I'll make a 3/8 inch channel and just snap this back and make this. I'm going to kind of grab the top elevation of this guy. Excuse me, tab through to the next one down. Top elevation here, copy that. And we're just going to take this guy, finish floor to bottom, paste it there. I forgot to set the height. What do we think a height on a track is? 5/8? Let's call it 5/8. And paste that floor to bottom again. Okay. Now I can copy that, reflect about center. That gets me over here. I'm going to drag it back, snap it, use that inference snap, bring this forward, just like that. I'm going to copy this one more time. Maybe I'll center it this time. Center it here, drag this forward. There we go. All right? Let's take a look at what that looks like in 3D. There we go. Now I have some channels. I'm going to leave a center channel. Anytime we have an odd number of doors utilizing this frame, it's going to be a little funny because it's got a center channel, but I'm going to leave it. For the most part, people won't notice that. So I can shift marquee. Oops, I was drawing that out. Let me hold control since I'm still on the piece solid tool. Oh, it's still not working. Excuse me. Hold shift and then control. And then one more. I'm going to copy these, right? Copy and paste, hold position. Control E to open it up. Finish floor to top. It's going to be 80 inches minus 3/4 of an inch. Okay, now we've got my top track. A couple more things we'll do here, just for detail. 5/8. Let's make that channel in the back too, right? This is going to be that 15/16 or whatever it is. And thickness is going to be 80 minus 3/4, and then minus 15/16. And now it's 15/16. I always forget the order of these things. There we go. I think that should look about right. Let's take a look in 3D and make sure I got that right. Might need to snap it. If we turn on our line over, this will help. Or I could just change the vector. There we go. So we've got some overlap here. Let me just snap this. Real easy thing to do here. Snap this in place. Right? That looks about right. This one might even need to be snapped in place. In fact, we could have just dropped it down, but we won't. We could also get rid of these vectors by joining these solids together, right? I'm not necessarily interested in that. Well, sure, why not? Join. There we go. Look at that, one piece now. Let's try that one over here too. And I'm not worried about the center channel. So, we've got this guy. We can paste, center. Might be able to pop this top of that. Yep, we did. Paste, center. I love working in 3D. It's enjoyable. Screwed that one up. Let's see. Paste, center. Oh, we can no longer center on this because it's one piece, right? Oops. But I could center on this. There we go. All right. I think that's it. So what do we do next? We're going to make this into a symbol. I'm going to shift marquee select this, convert to symbol. It's going to remain a fixture. What are we going to call this? Nana frame corner. Sure. Leave that add to library, show advanced options. In our advanced options, a couple things I want to change here. 2D block, I'm going to take out the fill because I want to see through to the doors that I'm going to be placing inside of this frame. And then option, here's importance, inserts into wall. And I don't care how much it inserts into the wall because we're going to have different wall types. So maybe it inserts into the wall 8 inches. Maybe it inserts 4 inches. Doesn't really matter, I don't think. I can just place 4 so long as it's inserting into the wall. So it might matter in terms of if we've got a wall thickness that's like 8 inches and this is only set to 4, just know that this tool is only as dynamic as your understanding of it. So we might have to adjust that later. Sizing is going to be important in a couple different spots. So one is height. We want to make sure that, let's just split this. Now it's going to stretch uniformly about the center of that height of the channel. Depth is going to be important. I think we're going to need 2 depths, right? So we're going to need, I want to stretch this uniformly in between the channels. So -1.5 and let's go -5, -3 maybe. -3, -4. Magic number, -3.75. There. I didn't even think about that. We're just doing a guess and check. I guess we could have figured that out logically. This one, I want to stretch. I don't want to stretch about here because it will eventually stretch this frame. I want to stretch uniformly between 2 places. And 123 inches, so let's say we want to stretch in between 60 and -60 uniformly. So I got to check this width planes in between those two, right? So almost all the way up to the frame, it's going to stretch uniformly. I don't want to stretch this angle, so maybe 58. Oh, 56, 54. Why not? There we go. Perfect. Okay, now we've got this. It's, in my place right now. Let's drop this in and see what it does. You can see it automatically kind of inserted into that wall, that 4 inches or whatever. Let's center it up and let's move it point to point. Let's take a look what we've got. Oh, we do need to complete this section right there. There we go. So, what did we get out of that? Well, it didn't quite work, did it? And why is that? I think that's because we should set that inserts option to like 8. And now we could center it on this wall. I'm going to have to do that in this view. Let's try that. There we are. Look at that. Look at that fanciness. Let's get rid of this guy. We don't need him anymore. The other thing is we need to set a few parameters from the library, right? Finish floor to bottom, 0 inches. Why is it showing that? But we go bottom again. Finish floor inches. That's funny. That's the reference. That's really good. This. Or wait, how do we fix it? Its reference thinks that the bottom is when it was placed on the ground level. So I could, or, or, that's a funny. Yeah, let's get rid of it. Let's change that. We'll move. I gotta fix all these, right? From 0. How 0. Does that do anything different? No. Oh, but look. Huh. That's a funny little thing. Did not do what I expected it to do. So right now, what height is this? Okay, so I guess to really figure this out, let's just camera. I'm going to fix this real quick. It's going to take 2 seconds. I just had to think about it for a second. So I'm going to pull elevation. I'm going to snap it through here. And this is what I'm looking for, is what is the bottom of our P solid here? Well, it's here, and then there's the bottom of cab. And then I can delete this now. Select all this. Move this full assembly. 14 and 5/8. Now let's create a symbol and see what it does. Okay, so let's try this again. Rabs, Nana, frame. Better. Not gonna worry about that. Take that fill. Enter that install. Just sure. Oh, what happened? We missed something. What did we miss? I moved that assembly up, but not all of it. I'm gonna have to do one more. That should be the full selection. There we go. There's a full selection. Oh, and look, it righted itself once I brought it outside here. Don't need to move it. Okay. Nana frame corner. Wall. 40. These two. Negative 3.7. Negative. And this stretch from negative. Oh, I forgot one thing. Uniform in between. Now let's check it out. All right, that's looking a little bit better, right? Let's reflect this. Sure. Let's center it. Okay. Let's point to point it. Corner. Okay. Let's move this guy out of the way. And let's reference line. Do this. Corner. We're going to have to, because insert that inserted kind of funny when we reflected it. Oh, and we're back to this goofiness. How strange. So, it must be something to do with that cut. And look what we so maybe an 1/8 inch off the what of heck does that work all the way back down again? Huh. Let's figure out what made is similar to this where we didn't have this problem. We're here, we've got something that's workable. I think it might have to do with the inserts into the wall portion of this. I really want to select that. I want to get it out of the way. Now here's my next step. I want to place a door in here. And look, we don't have any problem with this door, by the way. We do have a problem with this symbol filling on its 2D block. Right? We don't want that. Same thing over here. Don't want this to fill. But now we can see this door, right? And so just have to do some setup here, which is no casing, no jam. Oh, let's see. Maybe 2 inches. So and you can stretch it, frame, snap, and we can over on this side too. Maybe we change the size since our panels would be super this across. And look what we have. What do we have? And what the heck is this still? This is funny. I have an anomaly here. Let's rebuild 3D. What is that? There's nothing representing that. That's really funny. If we get rid of this. What? Huh, alright, funny. Finding a little bit of glitchiness in this software today. So, let's reverse this. Why not? Let's open this guy up too. Reverse him. Look at that. That looks pretty sharp, right? Had to drag that in and pop to the frame. Like that other side. That's pretty slick. A little shine on it. 5,000. Yeah, add a little. That could look really present in the room. 20. Yeah. casing, casing, but that was it. You in this session and goofing around. Say I've made this and act the same. Uh, and things I need to sort for isn't that do this once a week. Looking forward to it. Right there. Let's see what happened with this one. Did it behave the same way? Yeah, no, that one placed perfectly to floor. Yeah, same thing, same setup. Anyways, once you have this, let's just do a couple things. Let's try what happens when we've got, a different wall size. These wall sizes all of a sudden are much larger, right? Thickness, 13 inches. What happens then? Well, I'll tell you, my friend. Let's rotate this. Let's rotate it here. Let's pull this out. And even though this 2D failing, this isn't finished corners. Let's block. Maybe not. Which buttons on this? Let's bring them up and sizing. Ah, from straight lines corner. Let's go back. That's it. That wasn't perfect. So with the symbol stretch frames. We should be able to stretch. We lost our mic. In fact, 58. That should have been in between, which makes actually should be. Oh, I get that. You're with it. Right. The challenge. This isn't a perfect symbol. Most times, I have to think about that when we change this to 45. I don't think I. That's some overlap gonna happen here. Yeah, sure. Oops. See what this looks like. We're gonna see some overlap in a couple things here. And we need to change that cut, right? Change the cut on both of these. So, and that's at the symbol designation. We can't do two symbols at once. So, kind of being goofy right now. 15 inches cut, sure. Let's just delete this one again. Let's draw our inference line, point to point, and then dupe about this guy, and then also have to do a point to point. Now let's take a look at him. I bet you he cuts this time. He does. Oh, and see, there is that same issue. How interesting. So it has to do with the cut. The cut itself is making it so that. So maybe if I made the cut the exact thickness of the wall, 13 inches. There's our cut, right? get back here. 13 inches should be our, oops, gotta open the symbol up. 13 inches exactly. Okay. Center him up. What happens then? Do we still get below the plane here? It does. What if we change it again? Let's see. Let's go 12. What does that do? Then we just don't get, we don't get the cut at all. Let's see it. Let's see what happened. Yeah, we don't get the full cut. It needs to be greater than, has to be greater than 13 inches. Oops, open the symbol up. 13 inches or greater. Huh. So then you have to move them up. Not the end of the world. Know your height. That's funny that it doesn't want to tab that. So it's kind of like I've got to set this height here. There we go. Actually, if we go back, I think we just learned what we're doing wrong. Let me try this. Move it up. Tab. 1/4 inch. Does that change it? Aha! I think I did it. No, I didn't. Dang. Yeah, some goofiness happening there. Funny. Because as soon as we snap it to the base, it pops back up. How interesting. Huh. So open it up, set it from the floor. Set it and forget it. And finish floor bottom 1/4 inch. Can't be right on the floor. Finish floor bottom 7/8 of an inch. What a funny thing that does. Very funny. Huh. So there's our overlap because we couldn't get a true 45 unless we figure out how to do that in our stretch planes. So maybe it's not interesting to have these center channels, right? Or even that inside channel is definitely going to cross like this. Oh yeah, so poses a challenge. Maybe you have to make a couple of these different frames for your various instances. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Kind of shows you a quick and dynamic way of creating a corner frame to cut out that section. And then you don't have to worry about that weird stuff going on using the pass-through window method. So, all right, I'm going to jump off. Happy New Year's. Enjoy. Hope you learned something from this. I always do. Take care.